Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Folk, and welcome back to another episode of the Channel 256 News brought to you by Bitcoin Mining World. Today is September 9th. Bitcoin currently hovering just above $111,000. Getting as high today is 113. Taking a little bit of a nosedive after some unemployment data came in, which we will touch on later. However, over here on the net hash rate, things are looking good, up to 1.197 zettahash. Things are rocking and rolling. More and more people plugging back in. Over here in traditional finance, we got a bit of a green day with the Dow Jones up 196 points, the Nasdaq up 80 points, the S&P up 17. Sadly, over here on the Russell, a little bit of red, only down 13 points or 0.5%. It keeps getting pushed off from that $2,400 price range, getting real close to its all-time high. Still waiting on this thing to break out before we see any more moves over here in the crypto markets. You can see today's price action is not just Bitcoin, it is the entire market. We've got to see a red everywhere besides a few outliers like Solana, Tron, and Hype. Coming over here from Bitcoin Magazine, we've got a little bit of an interesting take from Shinobi. We got Bitcoin meta protocols or secondary protocols embedded inside the Bitcoin protocol itself. They function independently using Bitcoin as a host. Basically, these are people trying to hijack Bitcoin and turn it into another shitcoin, in my personal opinion, with all of the what is it, the BRC tokens that were being created, all the ordinals, the NFTs that were trying to be added onto Bitcoin. I personally view it as I view it from two different angles. For Bitcoin miners, extra transactions, while being good, I do think it eats away at the credibility of the Bitcoin network by throwing all of this random shit on there when it should really just be stuck to just peer-to-peer transaction. Overall, Bitcoin Knots completely ignores all outside transactions besides just peer-to-peer straight cash. So all of these meta protocols are completely ignored. It is just like running Bitcoin Core, but it's up to 14% of all nodes are running knots, and that is growing by the day. I think here within the next few years, we'll see it truly making a competitor where maybe we even see a fork of some sort on Bitcoin, another Bitcoin Cash scenario. I believe Bitcoin Core is going to continue to, or Bitcoin Knots is going to more than likely take over at some point in time in the unknown future. But again, time will tell. From the Miner Mag, we got U.S. lawmakers urge federal review of Bitmain and Kango over security concerns report. Over here, we got Representative Zachary Nunn argued that the companies appear to be scaling operations in the U.S. through complex ownership structures and financing arrangements that may not be fully transparent to regulators or the public. I don't think that's really a surprise to anybody in the industry, especially if you've been here for more than one cycle. The idea of Bitmain being transparent is completely laughable, even on what they put out for their miners when it comes to their efficiencies, how many watts they're going to be pulling. Hell, even the weight is off 99% of the time. There's been countless lawsuits filed in the past against them for doing scummy shit like putting their own pools in the miners before sending them out to people. So when they were plugging them in, they were stealing that power and hash rate back to their wallets. Really hoping to see more and more manufacturers like the proto miners coming into play. Some American-made miners that are forced to be more transparent with the public. I think that is a great thing for the ecosystem altogether, and I hope to see more of it in the future. But yeah, no surprise here. Hopefully they do end up looking into them because I'm sure they are doing some sketchy shit. Over here, we got Grayscale submits a litany of SEC filings for Bitcoin Cash, Hedera, and Litecoin ETF proposals. We're Bitcoin only over here. However, it is nice to see more and more of the asset class completely being legitimized through traditional finance and getting in with the government. More and more countries are creating the strategic reserves, and it's just nice to see overall. So yeah, it's nice. Hopefully these get approved. There's no reason why they shouldn't. I don't believe that any of these tokens are securities. However, I do think they're garbage. Over here, we've got the employment data revision washes 60 billion from the crypto market cap. Yeah, the BLS announced preliminary benchmark revision showed overstated by 911,000 jobs. That is huge. That is what sent us down here today. You can see it all across the market. Taking a look over here at Bitcoin, right here around that 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. They're talking about 10 a.m. East over there. Taking a look at Ethereum, you're going to see the same thing. Everything's taking a dive at that exact moment. The unemployment data really came out of nowhere and hit us pretty damn hard. I do think we'll recover in the short term. Maybe seeing these index funds close in the green today was nice to see, but the Russell, the big player that we're most concerned about, did get hit a little bit today with 0.5% decline, but we're like what 3% away from a new all-time high now. As soon as we break out of there, I really do think we're gonna see some green again. Finish things off today from Yahoo Finance. We got Trump back Bitcoin mining stock. Trump's 9% after 170 million stake. You might have saw it just a minute ago. I accidentally flashed it to you, but yeah, ABTC backed by Donald Trump's sons rose 9% after don't even want to try and pronounce holdings revealed $170 million stake. The miner only listed on NASDAQ earlier this month and has already faced wild price swings. Well, that's true. We checked out the opening day for them, and it was pretty brutal, dropping, I believe, like 41, 42%, along with World Liberty Finance. When we looked at them, they were both down exactly 41%, which is kind of crazy to see. But today, nice little jump, up 11% in total. So cool to see some moves from some of the big Bitcoin mining players. We'll go ahead and end off things here, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Know this was a little bit of a short one. Make sure to check things out tomorrow. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that noti bell so you'll always be notified when we're posting new content or going live. Thanks again for checking in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.